Hello, and welcome again to Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and smash that like button like Hillary does blackberries. You know you can't trust Fox News 100%, right? Well, here's the proof that not all Fox anchors are made the same. Let's do this.
Now, more on the other Russian at the Trump Tower meeting. We now know the first son-in-law, the campaign manager, the Russian lawyer, the interpreter, and now we know this other person. That's all we know thus far. Can't tell you there aren't more, but I can tell you that's all we know at this moment.
And the human mannequin,
Chris Wallace. Chris, it's piling up, you know. Yesterday from Charles Krauthammer, a conservative columnist, a syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor, we got this, among other things. I leave it to the lawyers to adjudicate the legalities of the unconsummated collusion, but you don't need a lawyer to see that the Trump defense, collusion as a desperate democratic fiction designed to explain away an election loss, is now officially dead. And the tide has turned, has it not?
Well, I think you have to put it in context. Clearly, this was attempted collusion. It may have been bungled collusion, but the argument that the Trump White House campaign before, transition after that, now the administration made that there was nothing to see here, so let's move on. That there was a hoax, that this was fake news, that there was no serious contact or meaningful contact between Trump world and the Russians. That's dead. That the credibility of that is completely shot. Now, it may be that nothing came out of this meeting. That's at least what we're being told, both by the Russians and by the Trump side.
Wow.
But you look at in black and white at those emails, at the former British tabloid reporter turned publicist saying that this is information coming from the prosecutor, the Russian state prosecutor. This is part of an effort by the Russian government to tip the election to Trump, and there's going to be damaging information about Hillary Clinton. And then you have the immediate response from Donald Jr. saying, I love it. There certainly was, as I say, at the very least, attempted collusion here.
Steve Hayes, panelist on Brett Baer's show at night, conservative, writes, the obvious question, this is from Twitter, if the meeting was a waste of time and a nothing burger, why lie after lie? To which Brett Hume replied, good question. Here's another. If it wasn't a nothing burger, then what came of it? The lies, one after another, after another, after another, Chris, they are of note and worthy of reporting and worthy of considering as a constituent.
Yeah.
I feel it's necessary to remind everybody each and every time I hear a story like this and I'm videotaping, that everyone know that when this happened, it was a year and a half or a year ago. This is before Russia was even a thing. It wasn't in anyone's mind, Russia. So he didn't think twice about meeting up and finding out if there was some possible collusion or some possible wrongdoing by Hillary's campaign or some dirt on Hillary that would help Trump win. Okay? What is so wrong with finding out that what a terrible person is doing behind the scenes? It's good. She's a horrible person. He's a good person. You know, and talking about Trump, his son is also a good person. Look, we both know this guy over here is a closet Democrat, and so is the other one, or they both, maybe they both are Democrats. You can't, don't listen to a word these two are saying.
I think, this really shouldn't be a matter of liberal versus conservative, pro-Trump versus anti-Trump. If you're a fair-minded...
This is what makes me angry. This is the part that makes me mad. If you're fair-minded, it should bother you. But why aren't you talking about Hillary's meeting with the Ukrainian ambassador, around the same time frame? Colluding with them, getting money from them. What about Hillary's team getting an email from the Chinese ambassador, okay, saying, hey, Podesta, in an email, we want an off-the-record, off-the-books meeting to discuss our interests. What does that mean? What kind of collusion is that? Why is, that's what I should be saying, Chris Wallace. If you're a fair-minded person, this has got to be equal. If you're going to be upset about what Don Jr. did, you have to be upset with what Hillary's doing. If you're going to look into what John Jr. did, you have to look into what Hillary did. You have to. Okay? Look into both. That's the only fair way. Bipartisan.
Citizen, you ought to be concerned about the fact that we were repeatedly misled about what this meeting concerned. I had Ryan's Priebus.
Sorry, you've made us numb to the fact that we, being lied to so often. You've made it you've made it normal. The mainstream media has made lying normal. Sorry, we don't take offense to Trump Jr. lying about a stupid meeting with some Russian woman about an abortion. Who the Russian woman even says it was nothing. We spoke about abortion. Jared Kushner left in 5 minutes. The other guy was looking at his phone the whole time. Nothing happened.
The White House Chief of Staff on this program at this desk a week ago, last Sunday, and he said this was a meeting about adoption. That was the story at that point. That was the story that had been approved by the White House at this point. I don't know whether Reince, who's a good fellow, knew anything more about it or not, but that wasn't what the meeting was about, because as we learned later that day, after all the Sunday shows were over, from the New York Times, not from anybody in the Trump world, that this was a meeting to try to get dirt about Hillary Clinton. And then we learned on Tuesday, as I say in black and white from those emails, well, in fact, this was supposed to be, and what the Trump folks took the meeting to accomplish was the Russian government trying to give information about Hillary Clinton as part of an effort to swing the election to Donald Trump. So, you're exactly right. We've been told a variety of stories. We've gotten, and who knows if we've gotten to the end of the story. We thought we got to the end of the story with the emails.
I now know we haven't, because there's news breaking at this moment, Chris.
Okay.
Fox News can now confirm more. Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, Paul Manafort, the lawyer from Russia, the interpreter, this new guy we found out about today, and a mystery person. John Roberts confirms there was an 8th person in that meeting. We don't know. There may have been more, but there was an 8th. Jared Kushner filled out his form. I think it's an F-86, saying who he'd met with and what he'd done. Very important stuff. You can go to prison for messing it up, intentionally. He went back and added 100 names and places. None of these people made it. They're still not clean. We're still not clean on this, Chris. If there's nothing there, and that's what they tell us. They tell us there's nothing to this, and nothing came of it. There's a nothing burger. It wasn't even memorable. Didn't write it down. Didn't tell you about it because it wasn't anything, so I didn't even remember it, with a Russian interpreter in the room at Trump Tower. If all of that, why all these lies? Why is it lie after lie after lie? If you clean, come on, clean. My grandmother used to say, when first we practice to, oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. The deception, Chris, is mind-boggling. And there are still people out there who believe we're making it up. And one day they're going to realize we're not. And look around and go, where are we? And why are we?
No. Look, please, relax. God, Mannequin Man, check it out. Yeah, Trump Jr. screwed up and met with this person. No one's saying you're making it up. We're just saying it's really not a big damn deal when you look at it next to everything that the other side has done. It's like, man, it's like a little girl dropping her ice cream on the rug and dirtying a new rug, and a little girl shooting the dog's face off. We're just not yelling at the little girl who dropped the ice cream that much. We're like, oh, damn it. The little girl who shot the dog's face off is getting the real attention and the anger from us. And we expect you to show this sort of anger that you're showing right now towards what the Democrats have been doing. Not towards the little girl who dropped the ice cream on the floor, Donald Trump Jr. So please, just stop with your...
Why are we getting told all these lies?
I don't know what to say. I think that there's a lot of truth to everything that you've said. And as John Roberts pointed out, I can
What a douche.
understand why Donald Trump Jr. didn't want to put this information out. Those emails are certainly damaging. To have somebody saying this is part of the Russian government trying to help your dad win the presidency, and he says, if it's what you say it is, I love it. That's bad.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Well, I don't know if the email says that. That's actually, I don't know if it's the email. But the woman did not work for the Russian government at the time. When they met, she did not work for the Russian government. But I don't know what it says in the email. I don't know what it says in the email, word for word. How come I don't know?
Yeah. But having said that, it's going to come out eventually. It did come out eventually. They ought to all sit down right now in the Oval Office, in the White House. They ought to sit down, everybody that was involved in the campaign, and they ought to sit there and say, anybody you knew that, from the first time you had beef stroganoff to the last shot at Stolichnaya, you could put down every contact with a Russian you know about, and let's get it.
He just stole, I think it was Trey Gowdy's line. He said the same thing. I'm just saying, he stole it. You heard what he said? Everything about Russia, from beef stroganoff to Vladimir Putin. Everybody, he just took Trey Gowdy's entire thing, but whatever. I'm just going to shut the hell up and let these idiots finish that 1 minute rant.
Get it out. Bad, it may be embarrassing, but we can't keep having this new information dribble out because, as you say, we still don't know whether a crime was committed. And let's be clear on that.
We certainly do not.
We do not know if a crime was committed. We do know that we were misled a number of times repeatedly about what went on in this meeting, what went on in other meetings. And look, we have a case, Mike Flynn, who lied to the vice president, who came on this show in January and said that they never discussed sanctions. And then it turned out they did discuss sanctions. That ended up with Mike Flynn being fired and the vice president being hung out to dry. Come clean, tell it now, let the chips fall where they may, and if, in fact, there was no crime committed, you'll survive it. It'll be embarrassing, but it'll be better than this.
Yeah. Whatever.
What a douche.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and smash that like button. And when you subscribe, you have to also hit the bell and then click the little button there that says notifications. So you subscribe, hit the bell, and click the notifications, check it off. And then you're in. Then you're part of this resistance. Then you're part of Not Fake News. Thank you. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to share and hit that like button.